The son is getting married. The father is dressed in a suit, but the mother is wearing tattered clothes, looking unkempt and disheveled. This made the man feel ashamed to stand next to her, so he threw his suit to the woman, telling her to go help in the kitchen. However, the woman took the suit and casually checked it, and out fell an invitation card. At first, she thought it was an extra one that hadn't been sent out, so she opened it without much thought. But to her shock, she found that her husband's ex-wife was listed as the main host, and inside, there was a wedding photo of her husband with his ex-wife. While the woman stood there stunned, her husband's phone suddenly rang. She picked it up and looked, only to find that her husband had been buying all sorts of expensive gifts for his ex-wife. The woman felt a pang in her heart. Just yesterday, she spent 50 yuan on a haircut, and her husband complained about her wasting money, yet he had no problem spending thousands on another woman. She couldn't contain her anger and started checking her husband's phone further. What she found made her completely break down. She discovered that her husband had been secretly sending money to his ex-wife for years. She thought about the time when their son got into college but they couldn't afford the tuition. Her husband had claimed they had no money, and she had to grit her teeth and borrow money from her family to cover the fees. But all along, her husband had been quietly transferring their money to his ex-wife. For 30 years, he had been lying to her about being broke, when in reality, it was all given to someone else. The woman's emotions were in turmoil. At that moment, her husband's phone rang again. This time, his ex-wife was asking him to make the woman work as a server at the wedding. Hearing this, the woman couldn't hold back anymore. She stormed up to her husband and confronted him, demanding to know who the wedding host was. The man finally admitted it, saying his ex-wife had more class and elegance, unlike her, who looked like a country bumpkin, dressed like a housemaid. The woman was furious. She loudly declared she would never agree to this arrangement. Then, in front of everyone present, she exposed her husband's infidelity. The man, enraged, yelled at her for invading his privacy. He snatched his phone back, pushing her to the ground, and scolded her for only being a housekeeper at home all these years, claiming all the household expenses were earned by him alone. Hearing this, the woman realized she had misjudged him for so many years. The man she thought was honest and reliable had turned out to be like this. Overcome with anger, she demanded a divorce on the spot. But the man, humiliated by her public outburst, insisted she return everything she had ever received from him. At that moment, the woman saw his true colors. Without hesitation, she started taking off every piece of clothing she was wearing, one by one. Then she picked up the divorce papers. Before leaving, she couldn't help but glance back at the 4 people on the stage, who were taking a family photo as if nothing had happened. The woman found it incredibly ironic. She silently vowed that from this day on, she would never shed another tear for these people. So she took the money she had originally prepared as a wedding gift for her son, and splurged on a set of expensive clothes for herself. She decided to live for herself from now on, but as she left the store, feeling refreshed and unburdened, she accidentally bumped into a man.